All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Hey, Big Red, the old V10, the old Ford is in desperate need of some work today. So I'm going to show you what we need to do on that thing, and we're going to get into this project. I've been putting this off for many years now, but it is time to get it fixed. So let me show you what's going on, and we're going to get into the repair right away. So you can see here on the driver's side steering knuckle, there's a lot of play. That steering knuckle over the years has wallowed out. I don't know if it's due to the way I put it in years ago and it just wore out or just normal wear, but we had a problem. So I had to find a new steering knuckle online, and this makes it nice because I can kind of pre-install the ball joints before I pull everything out of the truck and get that ready. And then the hard work starts. I gotta repair, of course, the tie rod end and reinstall this brand new steering, well, not brand new, new to me steering knuckle. But this one seemed to be in good condition, so I just kind of set everything up, and then I got to the real hard work afterwards. You know, normally in a vehicle like this, you can simply unbolt the tie rod end, put a little pressure on it. Usually it comes out with a little heat or a puller. In this case, it just spun because it's so loose and so messed up that I opted for the simple option to just cut the bolt off, cut the little nut off here, and it just came right out after that. So I'm going to be replacing the knuckle and the tie rod end, so there wasn't really any risk of damaging anything, and that worked fine. So this was probably the hardest part of this whole operation, was to get this steering alignment adjuster, I don't know what you call it, toe-in adjuster, off of here. I had to get the outer tie rod end out to replace it, and this adjuster over the years just froze up solid. So I tried to use heat and penetrant oil. I was trying to get the outer part of it to spin, and so I could leave the adjuster, you know, on the rest of the control system, but it just didn't work. So I ended up having to take the adjuster and the tie rod end out, and I just figured I'd get that onto the into a vise, and then I could deal with that later, and that worked. But it took a lot of work to get this thing to loosen up. It finally came loose, and I got it out of there. Installation, of course, is a reverse of what I just showed. Now, on any sort of suspension part like this, make sure you count the number of revolutions it takes to take something off, and then screw it on with the same amount. And then you'll get them pretty close to the alignment when you take it into the shop, and it just makes it a little easier for them. Now for the brakes. Usually this isn't too bad of a job on this vehicle. I've taken these brakes off before, but for some reason this time they were a bit seized, so I had to use a bit of PB blaster and a bit of heat, kind of back and forth with the top and bottom. They were pretty tight, but eventually after enough heat I was able to loosen them up. I'm not afraid to use a bit of heat on these kinds of things. It doesn't seem to hurt anything. You don't want to get it near, you know, you obviously got to be kind of careful around rubber or plastic parts, around brake lines. But if you're kind of careful, you can sort of get some heat on there, and usually that works for loosening up these stubborn bolts. The bolts themselves look like they were in pretty good condition. The brake pads actually look really good, surprisingly, and there was very little grooves or any sort of damage to the rotor. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I should replace those eventually, but that's a project for another day. So for this next part, we're going to try to get the bearing hub off of here, and there's 4 nuts right behind on the back side of this steering knuckle. Really easy to see, and honestly they weren't super tight. Little awkward to get to, but once you loosen those up, the hub comes right out. Now I did this wrong. I should have taken the hub lockers out, and then there's a snap ring in there. I just took the whole thing out as one piece. Not recommended. It's a little easier to pull this thing out as 2 pieces. You pull the bearing off and then the axle out, but you'll see right here that it actually comes out in one unit. And then I just did the rest of it on the workbench, and it wasn't that big a deal. But the right way to do it is probably to pull out that the front locker there and the snap rings and all the other stuff, so it comes out a little easier. But that said, it wasn't all that hard. I just tapped it a little bit, and eventually it came out. There's a seal in there that's kind of holding it back, which you'll have to replace. But just a little careful prying and tapping, and it came right out in one unit. So for this next part, I'm just simply taking off the bolts that go to the ball joints on the steering knuckle, straightforward. And they actually weren't all that tight. I expected them to be a lot tighter. They weren't seized or anything, so I just got a breaker bar on them and loosen them up. And then, of course, I'm not reusing this knuckle. It's junk, the whole thing. So I just took a sledgehammer and popped it out of there with a couple of hits. Okay, and this is the part that I was talking about before where this should have been done on the vehicle, but there's a snap ring in here and then some thrust washers. Just remember which way these went in and you'll be okay. You pulled these out, and then once that snap ring comes out, you'll see that this bearing pops right off of the axle. So you could take this off the car, on the car, whatever. You do need to take out this seal right there. And now I'm looking through this bearing. There's some needle bearings in there. I'm just making sure everything is clean. I did the same job 12 years ago, and I'm just kind of looking at it to see how it held up. I'm going to refresh it a little bit with some new moly grease and get everything clean. There's also another thrust washer right here. Just remember which way this goes in. It's kind of important, I guess. And then we have to take off this seal right there, and that's more for a vacuum system. If you have vacuum lockers on this, which I don't, so in this case it just kind of keeps out debris and dust. But I had to put it on the ground and hit it a little harder. It came right out. Then you got to install a new one. I installed a new dust boot, a new dust seal for the axle that goes against the differential, and then also put a new seal right here. So just tap it on there. I made my own custom little seal installer that I've had for years, and it works okay. Not perfect, but okay. Again, make sure everything is clean as you can get it. Get all the dirt and dust out of there. It's hard to do because these things are old and rust and dirt everywhere, so I'm just kind of trying to make sure it's as clean as I can make it. But put a new O-ring in there, make everything good, nice and clean. And the assembly is just reverse of the disassembly, so nothing tricky here. I did have to tighten down and torque these ball joints to the spec that Moog recommends. I think Ford recommends on this year 100 foot-pounds on top and bottom. Moog's specs are a little bit different. I think they went with the updated version, which is kind of weird because it's all the same ball joints and axles and everything. In this case, I also had to torque down the new tie rod end as well. And of course, with everything, when you torque this down, you'll need to line up these castle nuts. If they're not lined up, go a little bit tighter. Never loosen them up or back them off to put that cotter key in there. So just make sure they're nice and tight and slide that in there. Pretty straightforward. Just follow the torque specs recommended by... I followed Moog's torque specs and just did it their way. I found that it actually made that ball joint rotate a little easier than the original Ford specs. And just the way that you had to do it. There's a sequence. You tighten the bottom, a low torque, and then you tighten it, higher torque on the top. And so there's kind of a sequence you have to follow. And then I didn't show the rest of this. Basically, I get this hub back on, and we're pretty much back to where we started. Tighten these up kind of in sequence, and it pulls that hub right back into the knuckle, and you are good to go for final assembly, brakes, and everything. So thank you again for watching.